15 here with a new segment called How to Use Your Glad Beast. It's the first episode because a lot of people play against Glads and don't know how they work, and a lot of people trying to play Glads use them wrong. And I've seen this and I've experienced people doing it. I've been confused about myself, so I decided I'll take it on myself, look up the rulings, so I can inform the mass public, whoever checks out my channel, whoever just decides they want to look. So this first episode, or segment, whatever you want to call it, is tagging, because that's the core to the deck. So, first of all, for a Gladiator Beast to tag, outside of the effective test target, it must attack or be attacked and survive the battle, and then it can go back to the deck. When it goes back to the deck, it is a cost, which means if this card, Skill Drain, is active, it can still go back. Now the effect is, when it goes back to the deck, paying the cost, you can bring out another one from the deck with a different name. Now when it brings out a different one, that's at resolution. Therefore, if you use a card like Solemn Judgment, it will destroy the monster. Solemn Judgment equals destroy monster. If you want to use Warning, you have to use it when it's tagging, which means it stays in the deck. A lot of people don't get this because it's still being summoned. It's at resolution. For some reason, Konami ruled Solemn destroys it at resolution, Warning stops the whole process. So know the timings for this. Now, we also have people who say if you attack and they flip it face down, you don't get to tag anymore. Why? Because technically a face down monster never battles unless it was attacked and flipped face up. So the only Glad that really survives long enough to do that, Hoplomous, because if he has 21 defense, he can take a bunch of hits. Now we have Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler, when he's dropped on the Glad in main phase 1 before they attack, he said the ruling is that it's a field effect, so when it tags out, you're paying cost, but you don't get to bring anything back out. So if I summon Laquari and my opponent drops Veiler on my Laquari, then Laquari can tag out, but I won't be getting anything out of it. I'll minus myself by removing him from the field. Okay? So there's also a lot of people that get confused with mirror matches. Tagging do not cause chains. So if it's a mirror match, turn player goes first with their tag. So I have Laquari, they have Hoplomous, I attack into Hoplomous, I tag out first and go to Murmillo or whatever to destroy their monster before it tags. That's usually how it works. You don't say I attack and then they say, okay, I have Glad too, let me tag mine out first because it starts the chain. No, tagging does not start a chain. That is a very common misconception. It does not start a chain. It's just a process that goes on during the game. You have the option to and the option not to. Also, if your opponent reborns your Glad and you tell them you're going to tag that out, they technically cannot, because they don't unless they're playing a Gladiator Beast deck, they can't tag it out. And if they was to tag it out, if they had their own Gladiator Beast deck, they would get a monster. You cannot tag out a Gladiator Beast if you do not have a Gladiator Beast target in your deck. That's the ruling. Now a lot of people love Rivalry of Warlord and Gozen match to side against Glads. And you'll learn that if you have two, it works. If you have like two Laquaris or Laquari and Darius and they're on the field for Rivalry, then you can only tag in Beast Warriors. But if you only have a Laquari or a Darius or any of the other Glads by themselves that can tag out, you can tag into Bestiary to destroy that Rivalry of Warlords or whatever it is, because you're tagging out, paying the cost. You have no monsters on field, and then you tag back in the next Glad. So if it's Bestie to destroy that Rivalry or that freaking Gozen match, then it'll get the job done. But if you have two Glads on the field, then it won't work. You can't have a face up Laquari and then you set your Bestiary and then you like contact fuse. You can't, because you have a Beast Warrior face up. Now if you had Bestiary and you set Laquari, then you can reveal it and then go into Gyzarus, because it's not being face up on the field. It's just you showing them that you have cost to pay. And that pretty much sums it up outside of tagging. Unless you, outside of the contact fusing, Contact fusing, a lot of people don't realize that you can set two glads and reveal both of them at the same time to contact fuse. Because all you're doing is showing that you have correct targets. And that's about it, YouTube. That's part 1 of probably a 10-part series on how to use your glads. Deuces. Comment, rate, subscribe.